Hi. So it's Saturday morning. It's 10:15. My kids are currently during some sort of virtual drama musical theatre class. So that's going to keep them occupied for 3 hours. I'm going to use this opportunity to just do a quick video where I'm not going to get disturbed. I have something interesting on for today, unusual considering we're in a lockdown, but yes. So I'm going to be taking part in a virtual baby shower. So I don't know if anyone's had a chance to attend one of these virtual events, but this will be my second virtual baby shower. So I had one the week before last, and I was a bit skeptical going into it. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but actually it was pretty fun. If anything, I'd say it was better than real life ones because there was a lot of activities. I didn't have to travel. It lasted about 2-3 hours, which didn't really seem to feel that long at the time, but going into it felt quite daunting because, I mean, you're going to be sat there staring at everyone for like 2-3 hours. The great thing about their virtual baby shower is that they had their organizer actually sent out these little cute cakes. I can actually put a little picture in there. Cute little cakes, and sent out some decorations and some balloons so that everyone's virtual space looked similar. So altogether, we kind of felt like we was in the same room, even though we clearly weren't. And it was really fun. We had some games. We all took part in formulating this quiz. So each person had to pick a theme and contribute 5 questions towards the quiz. I opted for movies with babies in them. I didn't think that she was going to go with the title movies with babies like I'd said in the text. I thought she might come up with something more articulate, but there we go. But yeah, and thankfully my round was the hardest, which made me feel so good because I was the only person attending this virtual space as a singleton. So that was a bit awkward because everyone else was coupled up, and then there was just me in my lonesome little box. Look at me on my own. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, no, it was good. And it was real jokes and like we just had a really great time with it. Nothing was taken too seriously. And once it was done, you just press end and you're still home. I hadn't, no reason to leave my house. So I didn't have to do no long travel back. It was just good. So yeah, that's what I have going on today. I have this virtual baby shower. So for the last one, I didn't really do any makeup, and that was a detriment to myself because I was the singleton and I had a big personality entering this virtual space, but I didn't have the look to match. And I'd kind of gone for this Sound of Music, Julie Andrews, The Hills Are Alive kind of look, which was a bit off key for the situation. I was thinking baby shower, everyone's gonna be parents in there, or we're gonna be talking about like babies and stuff, but that wasn't quite the way it went. So today I'm gonna change up my look. I don't know what I'm gonna wear yet, but it's gonna be something fabulous. And I'm gonna do my makeup because ain't nobody wanting to look at this mug looking like this for 2 straight hours, especially since I was up since like 5 this morning, just lounging around, not really doing much, not able to sleep. So yeah, so I'm going to talk you through my makeup before I get into a look, and whilst I'm doing my makeup, I'm probably going to just talk a bit about myself, just to give you a kind of insight to who I am, what I'm all about, a little bit of a history on me, because it's going to be boring me just doing makeup, talking about makeup. So I'll talk about the makeup first, I'll post some pictures at the end of what I'm using, and then whilst I'm doing the look, I'll just talk about myself. So generally speaking, if I do makeup, I go very light, I go very nude. It's almost barely there. So I like to use BB cream by Garnier. It's fantastic, very light coverage, but it does work. It is effective. It evens out my discoloration and all of that. And for the areas where I really need some help, I like to use this Fenty. Amazing stuff. Really, really amazing. Cannot rave enough about Fenty. I even have, for when I have proper nights out and I want to glam up, the full coverage foundation. That's how I'll do my makeup. I couldn't even remember the word. I have the full-on foundation that I use, which I actually bought from Miami, and it's still going strong. But I like to use this because it's just the perfect concealer. You see, I've already scratched myself and made myself red. I don't know. Yeah, so I just love to use this in like the dark circle areas, discoloring here, like places where I've like picked up my face and destroyed it. That's what I use that for. I like to go in with 2 mascaras. I like this one, Showgirl. It's me. I'm joking. And then this false lashes lift. I think this is Maybelline. Yep, Maybelline. So this is, I like this. This is kind of lighter, and this is for like more full-on look by Barry M. Just like really thick. You want that kind of tarantula look, really thick, dramatic, really, really good look. Go for both. When is one ever enough for a girl? And usually for work, I will use Clarins because this is just perfect. It fits very nicely in my bag, very low maintenance, but the colors are fabulous. So I'm going to cover the mirror because it's just a bit too reflective for the camera. But yeah, you've got this kind of nude palette, but it's got a nice little sparkle to it. And as you can see, it's like glittery. So it's not really like dour is the word I'm looking for. It's not very dour. It's very kind of, it's nude, it's neutral, but it's got a bit of pizzazz. So I love that. And yeah, lipstick wise, I would go for this Bourjois red velvet, not red velvet, just velvet rouge edition. I guess it is kind of red velvet. It's very nude, it's lovely, and it's got like a matte finish to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Goes on like a gloss, and then it just, the pigmentation just absorbs onto your lips, and it's just stunning. Sometimes though, you do, I feel, need to hydrate the lips a bit more. I mean, I'm always dehydrated anyway. All I do is drink coffee. So I don't have the most hydration. Yeah, so I do sometimes put like a little bit of a lip seal over the top. But again, it's nice and small, fits very nicely in my work bag. It's low maintenance. I haven't got to worry about anything. Generally speaking, I like to do like a cat's eye situation. So I go for this one. It's very dramatic. It's a 24-hour stay, Rimmel, Scandal Eyes, Precision, Micro Liner. I mean, it's good. It's definitely smudge proof. I can vouch for that. Or I have been using this new one called Tattoo Liner, also by Maybelline. These were all pretty much bought either online from Amazon or from Superdrug, which is my go-to for makeup because it's just like around the corner. And then finally, for today's look, I'll be using this wonderful palette. It's got a good selection for me. It's a little bit metallic, which I love, a bit of a shine to me. And it's also by Rimmel, representing for London. A joke. If you're wondering about my nail varnish, today I'm wearing OP nail lacquer. I love this because the name of it is My Vampire is Buff. And for anyone who knows me, which I don't think I've gone into yet, I am a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. I've met most of the cast. I've gone abroad for cons just to see them. In fact, last year, had the pandemic not hit, I would have gone to LA to actually go to location and seen the school, and it would have been amazing. Could have had my full geek on. But no, pandemic hit. I should just be thankful to be alive at this point, which I am. My brushes that I like to use are these ones. They're natural bristles. Again, I did buy them from Amazon. They are, I do love a natural brush though, to be honest. It's better for the skin. I don't like to have anything too synthetic. But yeah, so I'm gonna start doing my look now. I'm just gonna use a bit of BB cream. So I'm gonna talk a bit about myself because nobody really wants to see someone do makeup and just talk about makeup. I've shown you all the items now, and I'll put a little video, or a little picture, I should say, of the items I'm using at the end, so you can have a look if anything interests you. Now this is a BB cream, so I do put it on a bit heavy. And also I'm using my phone as a mirror, which is not the biggest thing to get good view on. Right, so talk a bit about myself. Obviously, I haven't said too much about myself as of yet. Mostly I just talk about what I'm getting up to. But, you know, just to give you some context. So yes, I work NHS. I work in forensic mental health. So I deal with patients who have a forensic history. That means they've usually had some form of an index offence, which has gotten them into prison or known to prison services, and they end up with us when it's deemed that they have had some form of mental breakdown, and that's been the cause potentially for their index offence. So yeah, these people end up with me, and not me specifically, but in the places I work, and I do some jobs with them. Basically, I work predominantly doing activity support work, so I will be the person who covers doing work with them, like domestic living skills, or okay, I had to stop recording for a second there because my child just decided to knock the door. There was me thinking I could have 3 hours uninterrupted, but no, they always find a reason to leave their lessons. Today it's to tell me that they want to change the background on their Zoom. Like, say I have time to do that right now. They should have asked me this last week or during the week, but they didn't. Anyway, where was I? So yes, I work in forensic mental health. I'm an activity support worker, which means that I tend to do work with patients, forensic patients, teaching them things like domestic living skills, how to take care of their personal space, how to look after themselves. We teach them coping mechanisms for how to deal with if they feel like they're having a breakdown, what to do, how to cope, what's the best way to deal with themselves went back out into the community. And yeah, teach them about good medication, concordance, and hopefully give them the skills and empowerment to move on from mental health services. So usually it works as a pathway. You would have people start either in prison or medium secure settings, and then they work their way down through the system. You give them a little bit more freedom, a little bit more positive reinforcement. You keep assessing, making sure that what they're doing is in line with their treatment plans. They're not breaking any laws, which would be a terrible thing. And yeah, and you just work with them to be able to go back into the community and live well-adjusted lives. The thing is, like, it is hard work, but it's so rewarding. And the amount that you get from working with these patients is so much more than just monetary gain. You actually change lives. You change everything about them. Sometimes you give them hope that there is something afterwards. For some people, they could have been in services for many, many years. And so you have to work with them to help them to see that even though they can be inside for many, many years, it doesn't mean that they can't achieve recovery and have a really good standard of life once they pass these places. So it's just about empowering people, teaching them skills to be able to leave the services and to carve themselves out a really good, healthy life. So yeah. Now, I'm not a massive advocate for makeup, but also medication. So I tend to do more of like activity-based therapies, if that makes sense. And what I tend to do is just make sure that the patients have learned new skills that really are going to help them. So I might do like cooking sessions or art therapy, basic art therapy, because I'm not an art therapist myself. And yeah, just give them a chance to just, like I said, find a way out, which can be very daunting, especially if you're at the start of your journey, or if you haven't had a chance to experience life outside in a really long time. It can be very, very scary to go back out. The last thing you want to do is mess up and come back in again. So, you know, it's about giving people a reason to continue. I do like to use my hands a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So that's how I maintain myself and my family. I work in forensic services. But, you know, it's not as scary as it sounds, if that makes sense. People think I do this really scary job. I don't do a scary job, really. You know, the people who do the scary jobs are the people who are working for emergency services, walking into situations they don't know what they're really going to be entering. You know, those are the people doing the scary jobs. Me, I just handle the after work, the aftercare. So, yeah. I'm living for this burnt orange colour. I think it just suits my tone so well. And when the weather is drab like it is today, it's really great to have this lovely, spicy, warm colour. Aside from that, what else do I do with my time? I make videos. I like to travel. I'm very often going to Belgium, in fact. That's where I used to holiday a lot as a child. My father lives in Belgium. He loves the place. I love the place. I've now made friends out there. So it's really, for me, Belgium is like home away from home, as is Brighton. I absolutely adore Brighton. Again, my dad used to live temporarily in Brighton. He's got a thing for places with a B. Starting to realise now. So yeah, I spent a lot of my time just in places with my dad at the weekends or on holidays. And yeah, it's nice that I can do the same things for my kids now. I take them to Brighton, I take them to Belgium, they have a great time. And I haven't got to worry about anything because I'm already really familiar with these places. There's nothing worse than rocking up to a country that you're not quite 100% secure in. And then finding yourself with children that you need to maintain and support when on holiday, especially if they're fussy kids. Like my kids, 2 of them have ADHD. And that comes with some very challenging behaviours. So it's about trying to maintain a good level of normalcy for them when you go abroad. Yes, they want to have a good time. They want to go to the beach. They want to have all of that stuff. But they also want their creature comforts, the stuff that they're used to having, you know. And the other thing is sometimes they have very rigid thinking. So you need to also be able to plan well and do as you say you're going to do. Which is basically one of the things that we say in mental health. Always do what you say you're going to do. Don't give false hope to a patient and then take it away from them, because that's just mean. I'm just blending it in. I don't have a blending brush. And that did nothing. Okay, that's better for me anyway. I don't know for you. For me, I'm quite happy with that. So yes. That's where I'm at in life. Otherwise, you know, I tend to spend my free time reading, trying to expand my knowledge on things about the world. You know, right now I'm currently reading a book called The 12-Week Year. I'll show you it. It's next to me. I sleep with it next to me. It's just a... God, I've got makeup on it. Whoops. It's about becoming more efficient and basically cramming a year's worth of progress into 12 weeks. And I must admit that since reading this book, I have been motivated to do more with my days, do more with my weeks. You know, to go for opportunities that I wouldn't normally go for. And succeed. Oh, got some on the lower lash line there. So I do read a lot. I'm also a bit of a geek, which I don't think I've touched upon much in any other video other than this one where I spoke about Buffy at the start. Yeah, I like to read some comic books, mostly Buffy related ones or Firefly. And and most of my friends that I hang out with, if not from school or work, I met through the convention scene. And I must admit that out of all of my friends, my con friends are my favourite friends because they're the ones who I find most genuine. Okay, I just wanted to stop the video for a moment to just fix up some of these makeup mascara issues, mascara mistakes, if you will. So I just used a cotton bud and I just brushed it off. I let it dry for a bit and then I just flaked it off. Otherwise you would end up in a smudgy mess that you do not want to be dealing with. Right, so as I was saying, I'm a bit of a geek. I absolutely adore Buffy the Vampire Slayer. For me, there is no other character that was about in the 90s that was this strong female protagonist that was relatable for a teenage girl to grow up and be influenced by, you know. And I feel so honored to be able to grow up in a time where TV had explored this area. And as a young girl in Brixton, growing up, you know, you do find yourself not in the best of positions sometimes. And, you know, for me, Brixton was like the Hellmouth. You know, it's so... At the time, it was very dangerous and very raw and very scary place to grow up. Now, with the gentrification of it, you know, it's not so bad. Yes, you have bad parts, you have good parts. I wouldn't change Brixton for the world. I absolutely adore that place. But growing up, it was intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. And so having Buffy for a little bit of escapism was perfect for me. And also, I was at an impressionable age. You know, I was going through life changes. I was having, obviously, the transition from being a child to a teenager to a woman. And Buffy was there for those formative years. You know, it ran for 7 seasons. And then we had Angel for 5. And, you know, I grew with these characters. I grew up. I found myself. I developed my personality. And I feel like all the best parts of my personality were just absorbed from those shows. And so to be able to now, as an adult, be able to fangirl over it, to go to conventions, to live out my fantasies as a child, to meet these characters and to talk to them about the role, to say to them, you know, oh my God, you was amazing when I was growing up. I learned so much from you. You know, I've met Buffy's mum in real life. She is so warm, so lovely, exactly how Joyce was on the show. She, you know, I saw her around my birthday. I got her to write in a birthday card for me. It was lovely. She wished me happy birthday. She told me about her holiday plans, how she'd been to Italy. I mean, there's no real other show where the actors emulate the characters so much. And it was just so beautiful. Every time I see one of these actors in real life, I have to admit, I'm never disappointed. I'm never disappointed because they actually are like the characters they portrayed on TV. And the one person I haven't met yet, who I'm absolutely desperate to meet, is the actress who played Faith. For me, in season 3, when Faith came in, I was completely awestruck. Here we have this beautiful woman who comes in with all the confidence in the world. She's not been slaying for long, but she's just so confident with it, which, unlike Buffy, you know, who struggled with the responsibility, Faith seemed to just take to it like a duck to water. Trying to do lips and talk is not the one. There we have it. This wonderful woman comes in. She's like, you know, the talk of the town, basically. everybody's just like, oh, Faith, this is a new person, you know. But very quickly, this confidence, this self-assuredness, this you know, happy-go-lucky mentality is chipped away, and we get to see another side of her, this raw side, this side of her which is, I'm not a fan of this color. I'm gonna just, we're not with the eyes like this. I'm gonna use this one. Better. That's it. Quite happy with that. You know, we get to see her break down the walls, and we see this raw, this innocent like envy in Faith. She wants everything that Buffy has because she believes Buffy had everything. And in reality, she could have had the same thing. And it's just a reminder that sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We are the ones who end up bringing ourselves down. And no one can really help us in that scenario because it's us the ones who are doing it to ourselves. I'm just going to use these magic minerals. I find it just mats the whole thing quite well. So for me, the character that resonated the most with me wasn't Buffy, even though you'd think it was. It was actually Faith. You know? Maybe that's where I get my compassionate side from for people with forensic history. You know, sometimes, you know, it is people do make a mistake and you just don't want to get tarnished by your previous decisions. Because sometimes it is just a mistake and you find yourself in a situation that you didn't plan to be in. It just happened. Anyway, so that's my look. It's very neutral. It's very, whatever it is. I can still see the red from my glasses earlier. Okay, I think that's done. Quite happy with this. I'm going to go to this baby shower looking a little made up, but not too much. I'm quite happy with that. And yeah, so what's the takeaway from this video? Have you learned anything from me? I don't know. I don't think so. Have you learned about me? You learned I'm a geek and I love conventions. Yes, I do. And I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer and I identify as Faith. So I don't know what you're going to take away with that. You can take away that I'm not very quick at doing my makeup. That's because I'm just yapping away. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here for now. Whether I post it or not, if you see it, then I did. If you don't, then it's just going to stay in my banks. So, yeah, see you around.